Good morning. It is Monday, April the 29th, and this is The Drill. And thank you very much. This is Ron, your host, one of only two true conservatives in the United States of America today, because we're the only ones that make the presumption for the status quo. Speaking to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, the other true conservative would be Donald Trump, President Donald J. Trump. So Kate Smith and the controversy or semi-controversy about her statue coming down. The fascinating thing about this is that a lot of Republicans or conservatives, pundits, have been, they haven't really come out and made a definitive statement about whether or not pulling down the statue is right or wrong. They seem to be concerned with the fact that the reason that it's being pulled down is because she's supposedly a racist, and that's what they seem to be arguing with. And I say seem to be because they don't come out and say, well, they're calling Kate Smith a racist, and Kate Smith is not a racist, they're wrong. Therefore, the statue should stay up. At least that's a complete statement, and again, a definitive statement and a value statement. But they don't do that, and so they leave you with, again, they get this from the news media that says, oh, well, we give you the facts and let you decide, which really means is we steer you to water and hope that you drink. But so the people on the right, the pundits on the right, Rush Limbaugh et al., have a tendency to do the same thing. Now, as far as the Kate Smith statue is concerned, I didn't know exactly what to think about that for a long while, and then it dawned on me what the correct answer, what the right answer is for this situation, and that is that it is perfectly right for the Philadelphia Flyers, and that's the organization that owns the property on which this statue is or was stationed, or whatever. It's where it's located. That's the word I'm looking for. And so it is their property, and the statue is also their property. It's perfectly right for them to do with their property as they see fit. And what they do with their property is nobody else's business. It's not my business, not your business, not Rush Limbaugh's business. Whether they want to take the statue down because they think of Miss Smith as being a racist, or because she's a woman, or because it's made out of bronze, or whatever reason, it's their property. And they can do with their property as they see fit. So they are perfectly right to go ahead and take this statue down. Whether or not Ms. Smith is a racist is a completely different issue. And I'm not even going to bother to get into it, because the real issue here is, again, whether or not the Philadelphia Flyers have the right to do with their property as they see fit. And the answer is yes. It's called property rights. I was listening also to Rush Limbaugh this morning, and to an episode from last week. I believe it might have been Wednesday or Thursday, because I think he took Friday off. But anyways, he was talking about how much guts that President Trump has, and that President Trump was at the NRA convention, and that he is very unabashedly pro-Second Amendment, and that he makes no bones about it, and that other people have a tendency to equivocate. And he finally figures it out that there's a lot of equivocation going on. In other words, people that talk and say, well, I see this side, I see that side, but they fail to make a value statement. They fail to come out and say, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, this is what should happen, this is what shouldn't happen, kind of situation. And so he kind of complains about that without coming right out and saying that they're wrong for equivocating, and that what they should do is make value statements. So in a manner of speaking, he commits the same error he is accusing other people of making. And he's making this error in connection with, when he was talking about equivocation, he was talking about the Kate Smith, because he feels, apparently, that somebody should confront the idea that her statue is being taken down. Well, again, it's somebody else's property. They want to take the statue down. It's their business. Why they're taking it down is none of ours. Okay, same thing if Rush Limbaugh may have a statue of Kate Smith on his property, and he may want to take it down, or he may have a statue of who knows what, and he may decide, you know what, I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of looking at it. So I'm going to put another statue in his place. It's not up to me or anybody else to jump up and down, scream and yell because he's removing a statue. It's his statue, his property, it's his decision. It is right for him to make that call, and wrong for me to stick my nose into his business. So, again, he's getting it partly right. He's waking up to the fact of the equivocation, but he's not quite getting it right in terms of acting on that and coming out and saying that it's wrong. And that's what he should do. He should be pointing out, this is wrong and it should change, and this is how it should change. Ideally, you back this statement up and say why it is wrong. Like when I came out and I said it's perfectly right for the Philadelphia Flyers to go out and to take the statue down, I said why? Because it's their property. And there's something called property rights. You have the right to do with your property as you see fit. So that's the issue. I hope that Mr. Limbaugh goes ahead and it continues on that vein and listens to what it is that he said and takes it seriously and makes more value statements, because he's still one of the people that spends a whole lot of time analyzing and not enough time judging. It's one of the things that I learned from Ayn Rand, is to judge and to trust my judgment. Everybody should do that. Everybody that calls themselves a conservative, everybody in the country really, but especially those of us that consider ourselves conservative, should judge and trust our judgment. And that brings us to the conclusion of another episode of The Drill. And until next time, thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.